All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Wesley, and right now we will begin our Sales and Marketing Breakthrough Week Volume 2. And today we are very honored to have Nadiyah who's here today. So, Nadiyah, you want to say hi to our
Hi,
friends?
hi guys. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. And of course, Lawrence is also here. Lawrence, you want to say hi to our friends?
Yes, yes. Hi, everybody. We have been doing this for past few nights, and I just spoke to Nadia that I regretted I didn't order the salted egg chocolate thing before this interview. If not, we would have been makan while interview. So
Yeah,
I hope our audience today will get to learn from you. So I hope
yeah.
they enjoy the session later.
I hope so too.
All right. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining right now. And again, for those of you watching right now, I would like to welcome you. And again, of course, it's a late night show with Wesley and Lawrence. Of course, it's 10:30 right now. Let's begin. All right. And for those of you here watching this, I would welcome all of you to like and share this video so we can benefit many more people out there from wherever you are right now, right? And again, for those of you here just joined, say hi to Nadia. So, oh, very fast. We have Nadia Naziman. Hi, Nadia. I love your absolute chocolate cake. Oh, that's fast. That's fast, right? Okay, so it speaks, right? Okay, and again, for those of you watching this right now, I would like to welcome all of you to like and share this Facebook video so we can benefit many more people here today. So very interesting because today's topic, we are speaking to Nadia, the CEO of Absolute Chocolate, and CEO of Absolute Chocolate. And let me just get the name right. So let me just flesh it out right now. Absolute Brands and Berhad, as you're going to speak about the life and business of influence on social media, which I believe comes in very timely because right now we're in MCO, we're being locked down, we can't do much at home. But else, there's a lot more things that we can actually do while working from home in terms of expanding our business. So that's the reason why today we have Nadia, who's going to share with us some tips on the life and business of influence on social media, how we can use social media to leverage so that we can expand our business. So, and it was during the pre-call just before we started. So I asked her, how's business? And she said, much busier. And I heard that your sales triple. I'm like,
Yes.
wow. All right. Okay, so
Yes.
before we go into the questions, right? So perhaps Nadia, would you want to just share with us? Would you just want to quickly introduce yourself and share with us what do you do?
Okay, so I am an actress. I also do a bit of hosting, and I just graduated from law school. And right now, my main, what's taking up most of my time is my company, Absolute Brands. So Absolute Brands is made up of Absolute Management, a talent management company, Absolute Food Festival, a yearly food festival that we've run thrice. And I mean, this is the third time. This should have been the third time, but because of the lockdown, we couldn't. So it's going to be postponed to maybe July or August. And then there's Absolute Chocolate, the one that's the most famous right now out of the three. Yeah.
All right. So you have the actress, so a TV host, you have the chocolate and the talent management company.
Yes.
Wow, that's like
Yeah.
so heads off. All right, again, we got friends saying hi to you. Jana Manso saying hi to you, Nadia.
Hello. Hi, guys.
All right, good. All right. So so a career question. I mean, if you pretty much answered that you tripled your sales.
Yeah.
My
Right.
question is, during this time, how do you manage? I mean, like, what was the turning point? What made you suddenly wow? You have like triple sales. So what happened?
Right. Okay. So first, when they first announced the lockdown, our food festival was supposed to be in April. So when it got cancelled because of the virus, we were starting to panic. We were like, what are we going to do? We already have our target, our sales target, how much we're supposed to make during the food fest, how much we're supposed to make at our booth at the food fest, and from sponsors and everything. So we were starting to panic. So we were like, okay, you know what? We have to come up with a backup plan. We have to just roll with the punches. Things happen, we never expect things to happen, but they do. And so we just have to go along with it. So that's why we came up with a new sub brand. It's Absolute Chocolate Cookie. So for the first time, just last week, we launched our cookies. And that, in a way, created more hype at our page and brought back, followers and views and engagements, so that we can start, like promoting all our cakes again, pushing our cakes again. So yeah, it was it was during the launch that we realized our orders, not just for the cookies, but all the other cakes as well, started to double and triple. And also because everyone is stuck at home, we can't go anywhere. There are only like so many limited choices on Grab Food or Food Panda and all that. So I guess us staying open has made us more relevant in that period.
All right. Okay, good. And again, so many more friends coming say hi to you. We have Fira Fazli saying hi to you, Nadiyah.
Hi, Ray. That's actually Absolute Chocolate admin.
I mean, is it shared also in any of the page or something like that?
I think my husband shared it on the Absolute Chocolate page.
So I'm gonna check it out because some comments won't come here through the My Printies page.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So we got Tafini saying hi. We have Yan saying hi to you as well.
Hi, Taz. Hi, Yan.
All right. So Lawrence.
Yeah, I think I'm still stuck at your that salted egg chocolate. I really go get one tomorrow so that I can take a picture and I will share it out.
You know where just pass me your address. I'll send one over.
Thank you. So I really want to ask this follow-up question. I think you have been doing this. You have been an actress, and then you have been. How old is Absolute Chocolate, if you don't mind, and ask?
We just turned 2 in February.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're to your very very infant stage. Like my Printies is only this is the 5th year. Yeah, this is the 5th year, and we are still trying our best to to work hard. So a follow-up question on this. We are on a crisis. I think everybody knows it. The whole world knows it. Are you prepared for this? Were you prepared for this lockdown or this pandemic? Were you prepared, or you were caught in attention like any others?
Actually, to be honest, we were all in denial. We did not want to admit that it's happening because our food fest, like 90% of it was planned already. We've already paid like celebrities, singers to perform at our events. People have paid for their booths. We've accepted, our sponsors, and we've paid for the tentages and everything. So it's like something that we just didn't want to hear about it. We just please don't happen, don't close down, don't lock down. But at the end of the day, it happened. Nothing could have prepared us for the shock of it. And no, we were not prepared. Yeah, we were really not prepared. But I guess we react fast to, the problem. Yeah.
I really like this act fast because I think we have done. I think I forgot, Wesley. We have done almost 20 over interviews. I think a lot of people say speed is number one. You need to be agile, so that you need to do you make your changes as soon as possible. So I think you have been following the announcements by the government, by the bank, or whatever that is going on, to try to support businesses, to try to support SMEs to go through this difficult time. So, in your opinion, what does a business need most now as a helping hand for them to go through this challenging time?
Actually, okay. When we heard about the lockdown and we decided to do Absolute Cookie, we did it within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we got the recipe. We got bakers in. It was so hard to find factories to print like our holders, our stickers, to get bottles. So if there's anything that the government can do is to perhaps loosen up certain rules with regards to operations for productions, because yes, we want to do business, but even if, let's say, restaurants that are allowed to operate, to deliver, if they can't get hold of boxes, of plastic bags, how are they going to send the food to people? So when it was closed, when all the shops were closed and we couldn't get hold of bottles even to put the cookies in, it was really difficult. And then also ingredients. Like everywhere we were seeing shortages of ingredients. Supplies were like getting disrupted here and there. So I think to help the F&B industry to, sustain itself during this period, I think the government should perhaps, loosen up certain rules with factories that produce utensils and all that.
So it's interesting to know because I'm not too sure, Lawrence. Do you have a guest who's talking about F&B? I think Nadiyah is like among the first that we had, right? Speaking of
we
F&B,
don't. Yeah.
we don't. I think you're like the first. Right? And so I'm food, right? Of course, we're excited. Okay. So my curious question here, just on top of my head, before and during MCO, you talk about acting fast. You introduce your Absolute Cookies. What are the other changes that you immediately have to act fast?
Okay, like I mentioned just now, we were supposed to move into our factory, but
Yes.
because no renovations could be done, we had to take another shop lot, another shop lot, another shop lot to do the cookies, to do the packing.
Oh,
So in the end, from 2, we now have 5. So
wow.
like in this, just during this lockdown period, just to get on with it. Like, okay, so when we wanted to take the shop lots, we had to convince like the owners to please, please open up, please let us friends. They're like, no, lockdown. We're like, no, please, please, please. We had to convince people. We had to convince contractors to come and clean the floors, to put like epoxy and everything, because we can't operate food without all the safety and hygiene standards, right? So it was like, it was really a challenge, but I guess because like we have a strong team and everyone does like 3 or 4 jobs in order to, get that thing done. Because we know that if that doesn't get done fast, it's going to affect the livelihoods of everyone in the company, not just us. Yeah.
Wow. Right. Perhaps I would say it's a good problem to have. Because we're expanding, right? And just, that means you were like, so I mean, just a very curious question. So you knew that, okay, somehow I say, because you dared to expand the shop lots because the orders were coming a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right, good. So my next question would be, what advantage that you think you have or Absolute Chocolate have that make you stand out compared to the rest?
Okay, so I mean, during this period, all our cakes at the Petronas and all that, of course, we saw a huge dip in business because there weren't as many cars on the road and customers at the Petronas stations. So our, I guess, advantage is that we, from the start, have always been stronger online. So that's where like most of our sales happens. Also, we have like a strong team of agents to carry out, the sales. So I guess that's like a very lucky advantage to have during this period. So it has also taught us the importance to have like strongholds both online and offline, because I see a lot of brands that they have physical stores in malls and they may not be strong online. They suffer a bit more at this time. So now only when the lockdown happened, then they are like scurrying to quickly build an online presence. I mean, that's the start for everything. It's good that they're starting now, but it's just that they lost that much of sales, during that period, that they were suddenly now then trying to, get influencers to promote their brands, suddenly trying to come up with ways to deliver their packages and parcels to make it interesting. So yeah.
Yeah. So it seems that you somehow have a very strong hold, I mean, a strong foundation. I mean, you have got Petronas stations and all, right? So if I may, I want to go back 2 years ago. How did you first started? How did you come up with the idea of putting into the petrol kiosk? How do you come up with this brand and this influence? I mean, how did it all started?
Actually, it happened, from the first time we saw the cake. Actually, we were saving money to get married, my husband and I. So all we did, his business wasn't doing well. So I said, you know what, let's do this cake. And then all we did was to record myself eating the cake. And then the cake was like dripping with chocolate. It was a very like visually appealing, video, and it got like 500,000 views. And from there, we got 3,000 followers at the Absolute Chocolate page in the first day. So within that first day, we thought that with that many views and that many followers, we would get a lot of orders, right? But no, we had like 4 orders, and we were like, oh my god, we were like so depressed, like And then I wanted to give up already, but my husband was like, no, let's honor the 4 orders that we have. And then while we were delivering, we had 8. Suddenly, while we were on the road, and then 10, and then next day 20, and then 50, and then 80, and now we produce about 700 cakes a day. So that was the start of Absolute Chocolate.
Yeah. I think this is a very good example of how your partner can be there to support you, especially during the beginning of your venture. Right? So I appreciate Wesley actually brought us back to when you start, and this is actually where I want to really ask you this next follow-up question. So what do you think is the advantage that you had starting off with a business, a venture that you actually already had? Personally, you and your husband, I think we have read so much about you both, and you have done so many movies. I have to apologize again. I have not watched them because I don't even go to Netflix. So I'm just saying that you started off with influence. You have a reputation on the market. You were an actress. So how do you think this had been an advantage for you to start a venture?
Okay, to be honest, we don't really use that influence. First online, the first video that I posted, yes, it was on my on my own personal Instagram. And but the thing is, people did not know that I was the owner of the brand. They thought I was just reviewing a cake, just like I review any other product that's, I've been paid to review. So nobody knew that it was my brand for the first 6 months. It was only after, it started becoming viral and like appearing everywhere that, like newspaper outlets or like media outlets started to approach us and like, can we do shows on you and your husband? Can we invite you to our talk show? It was only then that people started to know it was us. So I wouldn't really say that it was the influence that made Absolute Chocolate what it is. But in a way, we actually, perhaps we do use that advantage because we have friends, right, who are all in the entertainment industry. So in that way, yes, we do use our influence. We do ask our friends for help. Can you guys post? Can you guys, would you guys like to try? We don't pressure them. Like if they want to post, they post. If not, then it's okay. No hard feelings at all. We're just happy to send them our cakes. So that's the only type of influence we feel we've had. Yeah.
Although I'm not a celebrity, but tomorrow I will definitely post the dripping part that you said just now. I will really want it to be dripping. But just a continuation to that question, Nadiyah. You said that everybody is now going on to the online space. Everybody is trying to get influencers. Everybody trying to get whatever platform that's available to sell their things. So now everybody is going there now. Do you think this space is going to be overcrowded? Do you think that the bubble is going to burst? And do you think this pattern will going to be continued even after MCO or post COVID-19?
That's actually a question that we've been asking ourselves as a team. Because we see a lot of offline brands now going online. For example, a few days ago, my Cory Cafe, which is a physical store, right? They sent me a box. It sent me a box, and inside there were like 8 different types of, bingsus and then toppings and everything. And it was a really nice presentation, which they managed to put together within this lockdown period. So it's pretty impressive what people can do when they're pressured, So it wasn't just them. There were like so many other brands that started sending like DIY kits, which was similar to ours because we've always been a DIY pour it yourself, concept kind of company, right? So when a lot of other brands started doing it out of pressure, we were like, oh my God, we have a lot of competition now in this online space, and all these do-it-yourself kits are now being replicated. We're not saying they copied us. We're just saying that everyone is doing it now because they have to. So we realized that, this might become a very saturated market, probably in a very short time. But thankfully, we heard that, the lockdown has been lifted. So we'll see how it goes, But anyways, competition is always good. It always, makes us strive for more. So it will kind of bring out our creative juices. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this part when you said crisis will actually bring up creativity in people, will pressure people, will do differently. I also want to share this. I think I shared this in all my interviews, right? In my practice, for the past 5 years, we have been very offline. We do a lot of youth programs, but we have not done so much online. So I actually gave my first Facebook Live to Wesley. We have not done any of this live until because of this MCO. Yeah, right. So we were also pressured to do not really pressured, but we were also tasked to innovate this. Yeah, Wesley, over to you.
Yeah, so almost every show when it comes to like 20 minutes past, we will definitely mention this. All right, Lawrence, I've never been on Facebook Live. I've been before. Okay, so speaking of which, right, you talk about creative juice. Which is a very interesting topic. And the reason why we put it a late night show, and the reason why we are also doing volume 2, because we want to solicit and extract as many strategies as we can from people like you, where of course we have seen how your track record is like triple sales, that you talk about influence, you talk about using all this social media and all, right? So my next question is there any advice, and how can businesses be creative to leverage on social media platform now?
Okay, so one of the things that we noticed, for example, like my Cory just now, they did a set that I've never seen before. I've never seen a cafe send like a huge box of bingsu in little tubs. I'm not sure if they had it before this, but they sent it in little tubs, and then there were like about 20 toppings. It was really something that I've never seen before. They asked you to like assemble your bingsu yourself. So you turned over the tub, and then you put the toppings over, and then like it was just a really like a beautiful setup. So I guess, that's one example of people thinking outside the box. People would expect, maybe bingsus to come in like, I don't know, a box or an ice cooler or something, but they just did it like so chill and so like extraordinary. And like we started to see a lot of like businesses adopting that method as well. So I guess thinking out of the box this time around really helps. Like for us, our cookies, we didn't just deliver it in a bottle. We created a holder for it as well. If you see, let me see if I have a photo of it.
Yeah, I want to see. Right? So, you're making me hungry now.
Also, the flavors of the cookies. We realized, okay, you know what? There are like a ton of people selling cookies online right now.
Yep.
So how are we gonna differentiate ourselves this time around, right? So we made flavors that didn't exist before this, like boba milk tea cookies, and also salted egg cookies, as well as like the regular chocolate. We basically translated our cakes into cookies, and that I think contributed to the hype because it didn't exist before this. Boba milk tea cookies, like that didn't exist. So yeah, it was nice, and we also did it with a dip. So like the salted egg cookies came with a salted egg dip. The boba milk tea cookies came with a milk tea dip. Chocolate cookies came with a chocolate dip. So yeah.
Whoa. hungry. Okay, so yeah, interesting. So you talk about boba tea, you talk about salted egg, right? Which is like totally out of the norm. In the context of entrepreneurship, we call creative. So my next question to you is...
Hang on.
Oh, sure.
That's the holder. So it's like a handbag, a bit like a handbag.
Oh yeah, so the people can check it out in Absolute Chocolate in Instagram. Right, so let me just flash it out right there. Let me just check. Is it this one, right, Nadiyah?
Where is it? Yes, that's the one.
All right, so for those of you who want to have a look at how different is design and all, right, so check it out on Instagram, Absolute Chocolate. Yes, I know what you're thinking is without the Absolute E and chocolate without the E as well. So it's Absolute Chocolate. All right. So just want to reiterate the question just now was so you spoke about testing out things that you have never done before. To a lot of people call it creative thinking. To some people call it taking risks. In your context, how do you know is the right way to go? Because you need time to test with the market. How did you decide that? Okay, let's go and test this. What made you have that courage, and how do you know it's the right thing to do?
I think most of the time we don't know that it's the right thing to do. We just have to do it. And then when we fail or, succeed, and then we learn. And like, okay, so this works for us. For our business model, this works. And this is what people who follow us like. So, that's where we sort of start to realize the pattern. And then we go with what we feel people like. Yeah. So there's no way to kind of predict whether something is going to become a hit or not. You just have to do it. And then if it doesn't work, try something else.
All right, good. So I like that short, simple, and sharp. And I find it amazing. Like a lot of speakers that they ask, okay, how do you know it's the right way to move? And 9 out of 10 people will tell the same way. The first answer is, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a process of try and error, which makes me reflect that to all of us viewers watching out there, I think creative thinking requires us to take risks and to step out from the comfort zone and just to take a leap of faith to go and test with the market.
Yeah.
So
because not everything that works for another business might work for you. Like sometimes if you go by the book, if you read by the book, okay, doing this to introduce your brand is going to make your company like meletup. But if you try it on your business, it may not have the same effect as it does with another business. So you really have to try it out for yourself to know.
Right, good. And speaking of which, trying, right? So we got people saying hi to you, Nadiyah. We got Zita saying hi to you, and we got Steven saying hi to you.
Hi guys.
All right. So for those of you who have just joined in halfway through, we're with Nadiyah right now. And in case if you're here, say drop us a hi. So I know you're watching right now. Today is gonna be a very delicious, fruitful learning session here with Nadiyah. So she's from Absolute Chocolate, Absolute Cookies, very nice chocolates, cookies and all. I mean, we got bubble tea, boba tea flavor. We have salted egg and all. So do check it out in the Instagram of Absolute Chocolate. Right. So you told about a lot of very nice things, like how you all like managed to good stuff. But again, not all entrepreneurship journeys are all roses and butterflies, right? Yeah. So my question to you, in this 2 years span growing this brand of Absolute Chocolate, what kind of challenges, and have you ever thought like, this may not be the right thing for me?
Oh, we've had a few bumps along the road. Like like just now when I told you, when we launched the salted egg cake, it was not well received because people were not open to the concept of, salted egg being a dessert. It's usually something savory. So that was bad because usually when we launch a cake, we get thousands of inquiries, thousands of orders and all that. So much so that we have to break it into days. Like, okay, you guys will get it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like we can't do it all in one day or even in a week. But when we launched the salted egg cake, we had 0 orders. We had 0 orders for 5 days, and that scared us to I can't even say how that scared us, because with 3 cakes that have been successfully launched before that, the 4th one being such a dud really, put a dent in our confidence. And there were times that my husband and I were like, is this it? Has Absolute finally run its course? Is there nothing else left for us? That we really screw up this launch big time? But then after that, we had a few down days where we just didn't want to reply messages and all that. We just wanted to get our heads together. And then we relaunched. Yeah, we relaunched, and somehow, orders started to pick up, and now it's the most, favorite cake in Absolute Chocolate.
Right. So interesting. So you talk about creating a new product, and you didn't have that instant result, which is a very typical entrepreneurship journey.
Yes.
So I always like to ask this question: how would you measure the success of a launch? How do you know you need to persist? How do you know you need to pivot? And what are the things that you measure and track? Because you say you didn't have sales for a few days.
Yeah.
How do you persist and continue going? What are the things that you're looking at the time?
So we realized that the problem was the acceptance in the Malay community, the masses, right? So they were not used to it. The people who were used to it were the Chinese people, the Chinese community. So we sent it to Chinese influencers. We sent the cakes to so many Chinese influencers and celebs, and then they started posting on their pages how they were having so much fun at their offices, at birthdays, really drinking the salted egg, from the cup itself, the sauce, So, and then we sent it to some more Malay influencers whose shows were currently airing on TV. So they would have extra influence, right? Because they're kind of trending at the moment. So when people realize that, maybe it's not so weird. Everyone's kind of starting to eat it now. Maybe this thing has existed. We just didn't know. Maybe it's worth giving a shot. So slowly it started to build up. And yeah, we're really glad that we did not give up at the initial phase, because if we did, we would have missed out on this 700 a day volume that we have.
I think I really like this answer on knowing exactly when to persist and actually when to say, all right, maybe we need to look for something else. Let's move to a little bit back to the social media part, where, like I said just now, everybody now is going on social media. It's a war of content. It's a war of creativity now.
Yeah.
So, and there is so many different types of platforms, right? So, may I know, how do you, Absolute, okay, maybe this is a simple question. Absolute Chocolate is definitely on Instagram. Are you guys on Facebook as well?
Yeah, we just created an account last few weeks. Also because of COVID, because we realized Instagram is saturated with so much content that we have to fight with. But we realized Facebook is a medium that we have not tapped on. So that's when we created an account, and then we started posting there. And then sales started coming in from Facebook as well. So yeah, we're still learning, because Facebook is not our platform, but we're learning how to do FB ads, the kind of demographics that Facebook ads generally attract. So yeah,
So
we're also
may-
on Twitter. Yeah, so we just got on Twitter as well. Usually we get on Twitter only for our event, just to see that it's Absolute Food Fest trending, and it was last year. So it's just that we don't use it to promote our cakes. But now we see oh, you know what? We can make people like to do this, retweet 5,000 times, and then someone gets a free cake thing, right? So we're trying to do that now, so that we can stretch our hands and have one foot in every single platform online.
So later on, will you be considering the Kesana Kesini platform, the TikTok platform?
Oh my God, we did. We had an account last month.
Oh,
And
you
then,
already
So one of our videos had 100,000+ views. Then the others had 30+, and then one was few 20,000 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you can enlighten us about this part on deciding which type of platform is actually suitable for the business of a company. So how do you determine which is actually the right platform to reach out to your target group?
You just have to try all and see which one takes off. Like for us, it was Instagram, right? So we're kind of like stubborn in a way to not explore other things. We just want okay, you know what, we're good at Instagram, let's just focus on Instagram. But then now when we see the need to go and use other platforms as well, because Instagram is saturated, okay, now then we're like slowly learning. So like we didn't expect our video on TikTok to have like 100,000 views. I mean, it's a cake, it's nothing funny. It's not like Kasana Kasini, So like we didn't expect it, but hey, it got 100,000+ views because on TikTok there's a hashtag for food. So that's something new that we learned. So if everyone were to also just explore, they just will never know which platform they will be well received at.
Yeah. And the way you say like 100,000, 500,000, you make it sound so easy.
You by accident. We did not expect it at all. It was just one of the videos that we've posted on Instagram. We just posted it on TikTok. That's all. So we thought like, it'll be nothing, but
Okay, good. So perhaps there could be some strategies that you've done well. And my next follow-up question would be, I think I want to ask first on behalf of F&B business owners who have not leveraged on social media yet, which means traditionally they have been very offline. Knowing what you know now in your journey, right? What are some steps that you recommend for business owners in the F&B industry to start from offline to online? What are some steps that you want to recommend to them? Some very actionable strategies.
How to start from offline to online?
Yeah, for people who have never started before. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think one mistake that people always make when they go online is that they think that their content has to be as nice as everyone who's been posting for like 5-10 years online. Of course, your content as a startup will not be of the same quality, as someone who's been doing it for years. So, okay, when we first started Absolute Chocolate's Instagram, our feed was so messy. It just had it had customers, it had just like cakes and celebs, and everything was jumbled up. We didn't have posters. Our posters were typed on notes, and then we screenshot the notes and uploaded it. It was that like cheapo, But you know what? The message got across. What we wanted to say was there are 5 cakes left. Who's up for it? And okay, orders are open for tomorrow. There are 40 cakes. Who wants to order? So our point at that time was to keep the cost low. We didn't have money to hire a graphic designer. We didn't have money to get expensive equipment to shoot ourselves and to make our cakes look like commercial. So we used what we had. We used our iPhones. We used like Microsoft PowerPoint. We used whatever Instagram stories can. You can get a lot of like stickers and all that, and then just download it, upload. That's all. You don't even need like a graphic designer or anything when you're starting up. The point is low cost, high returns. That's what we want.
Yeah, I think this is very good. I think I like about this low cost, high return because even the videos that I do, I have never popped on my face so that I become slimmer. And actually, I also started to, to venture into TikToks. Although people don't really like to see me, but I'm trying as well. So I really like this comment about, just go ahead and try whichever platform, and later on you will find out what actually suits you, and what actually then will do best for you. So my next follow-up question is this, Nadiyah. What do you personally see in the business landscape, let's say in F&B landscape, post-COVID-19, post-MCO? What do you see that will change permanently in terms of customer behavior?
I think during this COVID period, everyone has learned that everything can be delivered to their doorstep. I think that is one thing that will remain, big. Like Lazada is probably doing so well right now. All those, Grab Food, Foodpanda, I'm sure they've had to employ more riders during this period. And I think that lazy bug is going to stick with some of us. We've been at home for like 2-3 months. We've had food, everything delivered to our doorsteps. So probably this is something good that everybody can start employing in their businesses to make sure that we can deliver anything and everything to people like accessibility, convenience for customers, especially.
Right, good. Speaking of which, convenience, I think it's a very interesting topic they talk about. Again, because I think a lot of F&B business owners that we know, they struggle because they can't get their products delivered. And interestingly, right now we have a question from the floor. And so Mubdi Munawa, hi Mubdi, thank you so much for joining. And so a question from Mubdi is, how do you manage the supply chain? As we know, the lifespan cake is not that long. It must be challenging arranging the schedule for it to arrive in different places. How did you manage the supply chain?
Oh, yeah. Actually, this is one of the biggest challenges for us because cakes don't have a very long shelf life. Cookies, yes. Actually, that's kind of the reason why we did cookies also, because, it can last longer. We can take our mind, off these worries. So one of the ways that we manage the supply chains is, number one, chiller trucks, chiller lorries. That really helps. Secondly, making sure that our agents have chillers at home. So when they have chillers, when the cakes arrive, they put it into the chiller immediately. Usually it lasts. And then we don't recommend them to keep the cakes for a long time before delivering it to customers. We make sure that they have the customers already, so that the minute they get it, if they get it at night, then yes, for one night it's in the chiller. If they get it in the morning, immediately they go and deliver. Because we want the cakes to reach the customers as soon as possible so that it remains fresh. We don't want it to be like stored in the chiller for even 3 days. It's not fresh anymore that way, right? So yeah, this is something that we like push our agents to consider investing in their own chillers, because when cakes go bad in the end, they lose. So just invest a bit, get your chillers, and you can see a longer lifespan for your cakes.
Right. So when you speak about these agents, these are they like your business partners? Are they people that you hire? I mean, how does it work?
Okay. In Malaysia, agents are like quite a big thing for like businesses, small businesses mostly. So these are people who will buy your items, your products at a slightly lower price, and then they hike up the price and sell it, and then it's that margin that they keep for themselves.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So we have about 70 agents all across Malaysia. So like in Klang Valley, there's about 30, and then like the other 40 are like outside of Klang Valley. So like in Kelantan and everywhere, yeah.
Wow. And it's interesting. So since you have a fleet of 70 agents, right? So my next curious question, because it's very common for businesses who manage fleets like your. So when crisis comes, they are like uncertain. I mean, I'm not too sure whether you face this from the fleets as well. So on your perspective as a business owner, right? How do you manage them so that they remain motivated, engaged with you, and they still deliver your work and they are still getting the job done? How do you make them engage as a team to push together with you during this time?
Right. Actually, right, when this lockdown just happened, we faced a lot of resistance because people did not want us to continue with the business. Even though it's an F&B essential biz, the fear was too high. Even within our own company, our bakers, our kitchen staff were too scared to work. Yeah, even though we employed like safety measures like 1 feet apart, gloves, we sanitize every single day. People were not allowed to come for self pickup, only deliveries. Everyone was walking with gloves and masks and everything. They were too scared. We had to have a 1 week break for everybody to really like gather themselves and like, okay, we can do this. Let's take all the precautionary measures, and then let's try it for a week. If people are still scared, okay, we'll close. But thankfully, everyone, like finally had their wits about them and like, okay, let's do it lah. Our agents, they were worried as well. Some of them were like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be locking down. So we're like, okay, if you don't want to do it, it's completely okay. Those agents who want to, because they have kids to feed, they have, families to take care of, we will still continue for them and for our staff. Because, it's, okay, we gave them allowances. We didn't allow our staff to go on unpaid leaves because we know they have families. So we gave them allowances. But that allowance is not enough, for most people to cover their entire month. So that's why they wanted to work. So we allowed that opportunity for our agents as well. Those of you who want and those of you who feel you need to work, we're open for you and we will stay open for you. But those of you who feel like, safety is like an issue right now for you, you don't trust the environment right now to be out and about delivering, you guys don't have to. We're not going to force you. So it was slowly, like more and more Asians started to come, and business it resumed as per normal. Only certain states like Kelantan and Perak, and I think a few other like red zones that closed the borders, those Asians could not. Even if they wanted to, they could not, because our chiller trucks could not cross the border. There were like police and everything there. So, yeah.
I understand. Can I just clarify one question on this? Is Absolute chocolate available in East Malaysia as well? I mean, as in Sabah and Sarawak?
No, unfortunately, it's not, because of the shelf life of the cake. By the time it reaches there, it gets spoiled. Like in the cargo of the plane and all, it's too hot, so it gets spoiled. So yeah.
So everything in the West Malaysia is all centralized in KL. I mean, as in you only have one kitchen all in KL.
Yes, but we're currently working on a second kitchen, like a hub in Johor, in JB. So we're still looking for a factory and all that, because our orders from JB and Singapore are amongst the heaviest, and like we always have to like deliver, and our runners get really tired. Sometimes they have to overnight just to send the cakes, because it's really high volumes. So opening a hub there would really help both the Singapore and JB Asians. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's interesting, right? I mean, because on surface it's just like F&B, but behind there's so much work involved, and especially during crises like this, it's even more amazing hearing that you can really pull through this. And again, hats off to you, Nadiyah.
Thank you. My team.
So hats off to the team as well.
Yeah, team.
I know you're watching there out there, some of you, right? Okay. Okay. My next question is just now a curious question that popped in my head was so you talk about the content, low costs and high effectiveness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about low cost, high return. So that one is for people to get started. So you talk about contents, putting online. So when you first started, use low cost, high return strategy, right? What are some contents that you recommend for F&B business owners? What can they post, or what are some contents you recommend them to post?
Okay, I've seen the difference between very nicely curated postings as well as those anyhow type. Sometimes the anyhow type is much more appealing. Why? Because you don't care about frames and borders and nice fonts and everything. What you care is the food up close in the camera, the chocolate is dripping or the chicken juice is dripping, and you can see something like ayam golek being burnt and everything. The char, like that is more tempting than any like nicely photoshop, pictures. So actually, all you need is your phone. We believe that the way you shoot your postings is more important than like how pretty it is. Like food, especially vectors and animation and all that. That's not what pulls people. What pulls people is that close up, that sound of that dripping, the gloss in like the chicken juice, the lamb, you can see the spices and all that. Yeah, that is what pulls people. That's what makes people hungry. So people should focus on that, on making their food really like as if you can see, like as if it's in front of you. So focus on that rather than, all this fluff.
Nadiyah, I really like this answer that you said about, people don't really care about fluff. You gave me the confidence not to continue not to crop my face. So thank you so much for that confidence. But I have a follow-up question on this. Do you actually have a data of, or do you have a collection of what are the age group of your customers?
We have a lot of school children, not children, it's like teenagers. All the way to around 50 plus because that's like sort of the maximum age that that generation is working. So they usually get it at the offices. They usually order our cakes at the offices and they share. So, them and their younger colleagues, that's how they find out about it. And also 50 plus is usually the max age that they're on Instagram, right? That is on Instagram. So, I mean, of course, there are 60s, 70s. My grandparents are on Instagram as well. But like the majority, is 50 plus for that age group. So we would say teenage to 50 plus.
Yeah. So I do not know if you have any data or any studies on my next question. So most of your customers, like you said, your business has tripled. So have you identified these new customers? Are they actually coming from your social media because you are rapidly posting, or because they are referred by word of mouth because of the dripping chocolates that they say, oh, this is fantastic, I'm going to recommend. So have you actually had a study that your customers are coming from word of mouth, or actually they are still mainly coming from social media?
I think usually from social media, but social media can also cause word of mouth because now there's the share button, right, on like
Yeah.
video. So whenever we post, we can actually see how many shares we've had. And usually it's like hundreds and sometimes it's even in the thousands. So people are sharing videos to their friends. They are messaging it. We can see how many people message that video to their friends. And then like they're usually like in the comment section, they'll be tagging their friends at. So like we know that actually this is the word of mouth. It's just that it's online.
So in the perspective of business model, right? I got this one question that popped up in my head. So as cake, right? Do you have challenge in terms of repeatability, which means will people repeat purchase very regularly when it comes to purchasing of cake?
Actually, at the beginning, a lot of our customers were up to 7-8 times repeat orders. Because on Instagram, we can see our past messages with them, right? And then like when we scroll up, we're like, whoa, this person has ordered a lot. And our admins have told us that a lot of them order more than 5 times. So we have good customer retention in a way. Maybe because, okay, apart from, being viral and all that, we really do care about the quality of our cakes. People can be attracted to buy your product when it's, advertised in such a nice way. But the only thing that will ensure customer retention is that your product is actually nice. That's the only time you're going to get a second sale from that. So we really prioritize the quality of our cakes. So, yeah.
I'm really impressed with the returning customers, 7-8 times of them, and of course your product must be very good. Maybe before we go on further, maybe Nadiyah, you want to take this opportunity to say anything to your customers before we follow up with more questions. I'm sure that some of your customers are actually viewing this live video now.
Actually, I want to say like a really deep and heartfelt thank you. There's no way we could have gotten through this lockdown without you guys. Sometimes, the first 2 weeks when we actually did not open, we received so many customers DMs saying, please open, we're at home, we really miss your cakes. And it's because of you guys that we really got things together and, started to operate again. So thank you so much for all your support. Thank you.
That's all. Thank you very much to those supporting Absolute Chocolate. Terima kasih, 谢谢你们. All right. Okay. So interesting. I'm enjoying this conversation a lot. And personally, I think learning from you on how fast you pivot, and I really like the idea when you say customer retention. Now, based on your experience, besides product quality, what else is important for customer retention?
I think to have something new all the time. Sometimes it's the same product, it's the same cake, but we add a topping. Suddenly it's a new cake. Suddenly it looks like a different thing. Like, oh, okay, I haven't tried this version. Sometimes it's the same cake, but we change the box. And people are like, oh my God, that box is so cute. I want it again. Just because they want the box. And recently, our salted egg cake, we launched the sauce in like an egg container.
Yes, I saw that.
So people started to order just because they wanted that. And when it ran out of stock, people were like, no, I'm gonna wait for that thing. So it's like it's the same concept. We've been doing pour it yourself sauces for the past 4 cakes. So it's the same thing, but because it comes in a new concept, like that salted egg container, they want it again and again and again, and then they use it to put their salt and like coins and all that. So it's just finding new angles and renewing the perspective, just keeping it fresh.
So it isn't just about the food, but I guess the experience that you provide to them, and then they feel so attached to you, and they feel so attuned and so synced into your brand. So which is very inspiring to hear stories like that, because it's not just the cake that help you to sell, right, but the entire experience that you had. That's amazing to hear. Okay, and for those of you, just in case, for those viewers out there, if you have any questions for Nadiyah, we would love to take your questions and to address to Nadiyah. All right, so any one of you here, if you have any questions, so do drop your questions at the side, and we will be happy to take in your questions to you. All right, so before the questions come in, so of course we would love to have more chat with you, but now it's like 49 minutes. Time flies. Right? Okay, so now Nadiyah, just a quick question, do you have any last advice or words of encouragement to our audience, especially to our fellow business owners?
I would say we all have to learn to adapt very quickly to circumstances, and now it's physical stores that cannot open. Now we have to go online, but one day it might be the opposite. It might be that online, there's a virus that hit Malaysia or something online, and then all our systems jam and shut down, and we all have to learn how to sell offline. I think it's good to start building our platforms now on both both online and offline. We should all start doing it now to have a presence in both places.
I like the part because you're one of the very few that actually say you should balance both, because a lot of people say last advice, everybody go digital, go online, wrap for the website. I mean, you are the very few ones that say you're going to maintain both the offline and online. And I really like this wholesome experience that you give towards people. Heads off to you, Nadiyah. All right. And again, just in case any one of you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions at the side. And so, Lawrence, you got anything to add?
No, I want to say thank you so much, Nadiyah, for the experience as well. Definitely, I will try to take a nice dripping video tomorrow. And I really look forward, and I really thank you again for spending this evening with us. And I wish you all the best for Absolute Chocolate. And definitely, I just followed both you and your Absolute Chocolate Instagram. I will start scrolling the menu tonight.
You want to slip? I'll send it over.
Sure. I on behalf of my pretty staff as well, I think my team has been engaging with you for the past few weeks, and we have been wanting you so much on to so many of our programs. Finally, we are here. So thank you so much, and on behalf of the team, all the best in Absolute.
So much. Yeah. From me and my team as well. Thank you for giving us this platform to advertise our cake, to share with other entrepreneurs, and I will definitely continue watching your show to see what other business owners have to say as well. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, Nana, just before I let you go, right? So is there any upcoming release that you want to enlighten our audience?
We might have a drink coming up, but I won't say anything yet.
keeping people on the toe, keeping people interested and suspense. Okay, again, just a quick shout out. Any one of you here, if you want to check it out, what really excites three of us right now is definitely Absolute Chocolate. I'm definitely going to scroll through it and test. So perhaps it's Lawrence, it's not so good of an idea getting F&B late night show. I feel very hungry now.
You are right. You are absolutely right.
Absolute Chocolate, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I'm learning this. Okay, so do check that out. Instagram, Absolute Chocolate, right there. Again, so question: is this a full-fledged e-commerce, or they just can order through DM? They just can order
through
DM.
DM and WhatsApp. The WhatsApp is in the bio. The link is there.
Right. Upcoming. You have any upcoming plans to tighten up, maybe expand your online stuff? Any short plans like that?
Actually, we have plans to expand offline. We are actually in the queue to open kiosks in malls as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I will definitely check it out. I look forward to see that. I can't.
Yeah, there's a whole there's a whole market out there that we have not approached.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hopefully, having a physical store will improve our mall presence as well.
That's interesting. Again, the way you structure it is pretty much very different for a lot of people that say, they should go digital, but you say you want to have a strong foothold in physical form. So yeah, I look forward to that, and I really look forward to hearing a lot more good news from you and your team.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, so thank you so much on behalf of us and Nadiyah. So before we end, as a tradition of our Sales and Marketing Breakthrough Week, we have a tradition of taking a group picture.
Oh,
all right. So what's going to happen is, so we're going to just look at the camera, and this week, volume 2 is the thumbs up. All right. Okay, so ready? Look at the camera. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you very much, Nadiyah. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, and I a lot of guests say, this is the latest show people have ever done. We end at 11:30. So thank you so much for agreeing to come on this show. Personally, for me, I really enjoyed this interview so much.
Yeah, I did. Thank you, guys.
All right, Lawrence, you have anything?
Nothing else. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Nadiyah. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Nadiyah. Okay, thanks, everybody. Drop your thanks if you learned something new today. If you love what she's been sharing, drop your love and say thanks to her. Thanks to Nadiyah. All right, thank you very much. And again, Lawrence, thank you very much for being my co-host here today. So let me just finish up with a few announcements. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Okay. All right. So for those of you watching this right now, I want to thank you for your time. And so today is an interesting experience interviewing an F&B business owner, particularly Nadiyah, Absolute Chocolate. She talks about chocolate cakes, talk about cookies and all. It's so interesting. Perhaps it's even more interesting because it's a late night show. And again, for those of you here, I just want to do a very quick shout out for those of you here in case if you missed today's interview. So we have the summary and also a special gift for all of you joining this today. So we have prepared an ebook from myself where for the next 14 days on how we can improve our sales and marketing, particularly in the area of sales and online presence, on what are some strategies that would work very well during crisis. Now, it's not just concept, but exactly an action plan for the next 14 days on what you can do to elevate your brand and your business, particularly on how you can increase your sales. So check it out right there, tiny.cc/sales and marketing. That's how you can get the copy of the ebook for free and also the summary of today's Facebook Live. Now, the next thing which I would love to share with you is this. And again, so we are from My Parentis and we would love to stay connected with all of you. So we'll appreciate all of you here to follow and like some of our previous works and our current work on Facebook page, My Parentis, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And now we have also recently launched our YouTube right there. So Parentis School of Life. So do subscribe and follow us as well. And of course, turn on the notification button. And last but not least, we would love to invite you to our community. So there's our Telegram channel, t.me/myparentis. And we continue and dedicate ourselves to give you upcoming latest trends, updates in regards of business, sales, education to benefit many, many more people, not just during crisis, but moving after this. So do join us our Telegram channel and we'll love to stay connected with you. And again, one more time, I want to thank you for your time, for spending your time with us right now. And it's close to 11:30 and I appreciate your presence here. I know some of you have been following us for the past so many days. I really want to say thanks to you. Thank you, Yen, for joining here right now. And again, thank you so much, all of you, for your time. Until then, we hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow at 10:30, continue our Sales and Marketing Breakthrough Week Volume 2. All right, so we got some exciting news to share with you, so I will announce it later. Until then, everybody, thank you so much for your time, and I hope all of you here stay safe. Good night, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, my name is Wesley Chan, signing off from My Brain This. Bye-bye.